Hello, welcome. I've got a very important, serious talk for you today. We're going to learn about inversion levels in your corks. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, a cork's a cork. Does it matter how much you're flipping in it? The answer is yes, it does. It's really, really important. You're going to do a slightly different cork takeoff, whether you're trying to do a cork swing through cork, or if you're trying to do a cork swing through double cork, or if you're trying to do a cork round or a cork double leg, or if you're trying to do a cork shuriken or a cork feilong. There's a lot of different ways to do a cork, and different techniques work better for different types of cork. So I'm going to be breaking it down into 4 main types of cork and what you can do to get that kind of inversion level that you're after in that kind of cork. So first off, number 1, you've got your momentum building cork. You're going to use this cork for doing multiple swings in a row. You want to do a cork row. You're trying to do 10 corks in a row. This is the type of cork you want to do. And then you have your even more inverted, even lower, even faster, and with slightly more travel cork, which you're going to use to do a big finishing move out of. So you'll use this cork if you're trying to do a massive variation out of it. You're trying to swing into a huge cork D-leg or cork round, or if you're trying to swing into a double cork or a triple cork or anything like that. And then you have a much less inverted cork that's around horizontal, which is great for cork D-legs, cork rounds, depending on the aesthetic you're going for. And then the 4th cork is almost vertical. So this one is on the fine line between a swing kick axis and a cork axis. You could even call this a swing kick, but it's slightly leant backwards. We're not quite vertical, we're going to be a little bit off vertical, so leaning backwards a little bit. This axis is really good for cork shurikens if you want to get that variation really big and pronounced. It's also great for cork feilong and a load of other cork variations. So I'm going to break down how you can decide which of these corks you're going to be doing. So first off, we'll start with cork swings. How do you want to take off for those? I won't go into too much detail about this one because you can just watch the cork swing row tutorial, which says pretty much the same things. So the main things you need to focus on with your takeoff for this is leaning backwards in time with your leg swinging upwards. So you want to fully extend your leg after it swings past your planted foot so it's nice and straight. And as your leg swings upwards, your head and chest lean backwards, your arms pull into your chest to create an arch in your back, which is going to help you flip faster, stop you from setting too much height, and help you to carry momentum. That's it pretty much. That's how you're going to take off to do that kind of cork. Now there is one important distinction to make, as the next cork I'm going to be showing you is very similar. With this one, you're going to come out of whatever setup you're doing with your head and chest over your knee. So in front of your knee, you should be able to see the ground when you finish your setup or step. That's going to allow you to whip backwards into that takeoff position and generate a whole lot of flips so you can just keep going. And the second type of cork I want to show you is that super fast, low, whippy, really inverted cork that you're going to use to block out of. So this cork isn't that good for doing multiple corks in a row, as if you do this type of cork, and you travel really far backwards, you stay nice and low, you flip pretty fast, it means the next trick you do out of it is going to go upwards. Because you're going to land with your chest down, it means even if you try to do your normal cork technique, you're going to be going higher than you did in the last cork. And if you watch good cork rows, you'll see they're all at the same height. You can't be doing a really fast low cork and then going into a really high cork and then trying to do more corks out of that. I mean, you can, but it's going to be really hard. It's going to look a little all over the place. It's not the most efficient way to do things. So to do this really low fast cork, there isn't much you need to change. You're mainly just changing your setup. So you need to come out of your setup in a completely upright position. So try not to think too much about spotting the ground in front of you for this one. You want to land pretty much upright. So as soon as you plant that foot, ideally you want to be in an upright position. I'm not always doing this perfectly. There's lots of room for improvement, but the goal is to land in a completely upright position and then do the exact same thing that you did in your momentum building cork. So you're going to swing a fully extended leg, lean backwards, try and look over your head, use your arms to pull into your chest to create an arch. So this is going to be very similar, but because you finish your setup in a completely upright position, it means you're going to take off leaning further back than you would do in a normal cork, which is going to make you travel more, and it's going to keep you lower down as you're not going to be blocking as much height, which is going to make your cork much better for swinging into doubles, triples, big variations. Hope that makes sense. On to the next one. So this type of cork is slightly more inverted than horizontal, around that horizontal point. I really like using this one for Cork Double leg and Cork Round. It works better for some variations than others. So what you're going to do for this one is swing your leg in the exact same way you did for those last two corks, but you're going to change what you do with your head and chest. As you swing that leg straight in front of you and try to fully extend, you're not going to lean back with your head and chest. You're going to try and hold yourself in a dished position. So looking at the floor in front can really help you with this. And then as you're taking off, think about lifting both shoulders. That's going to set your center of gravity higher, which means you're going to flip slower and your legs are going to go more around the side. This is ideal for cork variations, as if you flip too much, you're going to find it a lot harder to really exaggerate the variation. And you're not going to be as high, so it's not going to be as big and impressive. This is also the same takeoff I'd recommend using for double corks, as it gives you a good amount of flip because of the way you're swinging your leg, but you're going to set more height than you do in a normal cork. So this is a great takeoff for when you're double corking. One other thing to think about with this is as you're swinging your leg forwards, try to push your hips forwards with it. It's just going to help you block a bit more, give you a little extra height, make it a little easier to get round. In double corks, this really helps as well, as it's going to give you more flip and reduce the travel. And on to our fourth and final type of cork. This is the one that I had the most trouble with, and only recently have I gained a proper understanding of how to do it and how to make it easy. It was actually Mike Guthrie's Swingline Double tutorial that helped me a lot with this, and I'm going to explain how. So when you're taking off for this cork, you want to swing your leg up and then pull it across like you're trying to swing your leg up and over like a 540 kick. This example makes it a lot clearer than I can explain it. Swinging the leg up and across just like a 540 kick. If you think about doing that with your leg, it's going to stop you from flipping too much, and it's going to get you on that more sort of vertical axis. You want to do the same things with your head and chest that you did in the last cork. You want to keep them nice and high all the way through that takeoff as you swing your leg up and across like a 540 kick. Another key thing to think about is as you're swinging your leg up and across, you want to pivot on your planted foot. Don't try and keep it locked out facing completely forwards. Allow yourself to pivot a little bit on the balls of your feet so that you end up taking off facing over to the left if you're a left side twister, right if you're a right side twister. As you can see from this demonstration here, I've already done a 90-degree turn before I leave the ground. This makes it much easier for me not to flip, as I'm not going to lean backwards as much because my swing leg is not forcing me to go backwards like that. My swing leg's coming around the side, so it's easy for me to keep my head and chest up all the way through the move. This is a great way to do shuriken corks and cork phalangs and a load of other cork variations that you don't want to flip too much. Also, if you just like that style of cork variation where you're almost vertical, then that's how you're going to go about doing it. So that's pretty much it for the 4 types of cork. I do have one final tip for something you can do to change your inversion level even further. Let's say you want to be somewhere between 2 of these axes. You can do that. There's still something else you can think about. What you do with these arms, with these elbows. If you're trying to stay more vertical, if you twist to the left, then as you take off, actively think about lifting that left shoulder even more than your right one. That's going to stop you from flipping even more. And if you want to flip a little bit more, let's say you're doing the swinging up and across technique, but you don't want it to be completely vertical, then as you take off, just drop that shoulder a little bit and then pull over with the other arm. That's going to flip you a little bit more. So I hope this has given you all the tools you need to play with the inversion level of your cork. Make sure you experiment, try and do a load of different variations, try and do multiple cork swings, try and do a cork swinging into the highest cork you can. Just play with it. Understand all of these different takeoffs, and corks are going to get a lot easier for you. You're going to find yourself getting all these different variations, being able to do doubles, double swings, triples, all of that stuff a lot easier once you understand how you can change your inversion level. I hope you enjoyed that video. Check out kojostricklab.com. There's a link in the description below. So yeah, check that out. We post 24 new videos per month. There's just a lot on there. Go onto the site and you can have a look and see all of the videos that we've got before signing up.